All right, everyone. Welcome back to Working Class Podcast.
Hello.
Where we, the crew of Working Class Music, get together and discuss things in the music world, sometimes nerd world, all kinds of culture stuff. But, you know, we discuss some of these latest happenings and how it pertains to us and how it may pertain to you. So, yeah, let's introduce ourselves again.
Hair on my mic.
I'm Jason.
I'm Tia.
Xander.
I'm Nelson.
And I think we're going to start things off with a versus discussion.
Ooh.
Yes, because Line 6 dropped the DL4 Mark II.
Oh, yeah.
And then a week, or I don't know,
a couple
days later,
Yeah, it was like back to
boss
back.
was like, hold my beer.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah. By the way, so Space Echo Mark II. So, what are you guys' thoughts on it? Are you guys care about it? It's something, hey, I want. Do you think it was kind of like a competition? Like, it was like, oh, yeah.
I mean, I hope there's competition. I fucking love some good petty competition.
Yeah.
Some big, price slashing and whatnot. Hey, let's fucking compete with these people.
Breeds innovation, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the Truck Nuts video we watched earlier.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool, man. I mean, the DL4 is classic and has been like overdue for an update. I know people who've probably bought 7 of those things in their lives just because they're good pedals, but you stomp them to death on the road and shit like that. So this is cool. But then the Space Echo, I mean, the old tape Space Echo, man, it's like the classic sound. So
it's not gay.
put Kirby between us so we're not gay. But no, fucking. Yeah, the Space Echo, I've always wanted one of those big tape decks because it's like, first of all, it just looks awesome to have a huge tape Echo machine on your amp. But that sound is just so classic. And I know the RE20 was pretty popular, but I don't know nearly as many people who use that. The RE202 looks so like user-friendly. Like, I'm so not a digital guy, and I love the way, like, I understood it right away.
Yeah. I haven't really taken a look at either of them, but I mean, I usually lean digital.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, I haven't really looked at either one either. I saw the video for the DL4, and I kind of talked to our Roland guy about the RE2, and what's the other one, 202?
Yeah, the 202 is the big one.
Yeah, the 3-button one. Just kind of looked at it. I didn't look through any, like, of the specs or anything like that. Like, it seems exciting, but, like, I'm also at a point where I'm not saying I don't care, but I'm not the target audience, and I recognize that.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Yeah. I guess my thoughts on it. I actually had the big tape machine Space Echo, and it didn't work, though. Huh?
You had a real one?
Yeah, I had a real one. When I worked at the Guitar Center in Tallahassee, it came through. Damn. And I bought it, but it didn't fully work. And I was just like, well, that vintage policy, I can't return it. So.
Yeah, that's the problem with those things. They have all those moving parts. And if something goes wrong, it's fucked. Yeah.
So then I just got the Space Echo pedal, and that was one of my favorite pedals. I mean, it's the Radiohead sound, essentially, because that's one of the the Space Echo is one of the things they're known for. As far as like a versus competition, which is funny because in the way that both companies released it, it kind of came across petty.
Yeah.
It came across very
really,
petty.
It was like, oh, what?
Yeah,
it was
funny. And it's just like, oh, you don't see this in the gear world, but like as far as like, I think one thing that I think it was great in the sense that like, even though I think those two pedals are for two different people, the fact that they came out back to back and they're both like delays,
right?
It was just like, oh well, shit, I want this one now.
They're both green delays.
Yeah, they're both green delays. Like, even though they're vastly different things and vastly different features,
it's a real Bug's Life and Ants situation.
Yeah. So
the DL4, that's more like a mini looper in my head, right? Like, it's for like building like those big cascading delays. It's minus the bear.
Yeah, essentially, it's the pedal that Dave from Minus the Bear made famous. Yeah, he had 4 of them on his board, and I think 1 or 2 of them were like backups.
That's so cool.
So like, at all times he had those ready to go, and I think he was the biggest innovator of that pedal. And then Reverb got him to demo it, and it was just like to demo the new one, and I thought that was cool as hell because it's like, hey, I can do everything that I used to do on this one. And then there's all these new features, and he was trying out like a couple like things from older riffs with some of the newer features, and that's what really sold me on DL4.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm leaning more for the Space Echo for like just my rig and what I use because it's going for more of that vintage vibe. If it sounds anything close to an analog one, I don't see why it wouldn't with 2022 microchips inside of it. You know what I'm saying? Because the orange and matte amps that I use have that weird like, it's like I forget which one it is. It's a parallel effects loop, I think. So like you can still hear the clean sound. And it makes all delay pedals sound fucking weird through it. Like reverb pedals, it's like you hear your normal sound and the echo next to it, but it's designed to work with those tape echo machines. So it's like, I need to get my hands on this thing and at least see if it works. You know, I'm pretty excited about it. Good job, boss.
Yeah, no, I like you. I kind of lean towards the Space Echo. Although, for me, if I'm being transparent, for lack of a better term, I really don't care either way. I just want to do a review on both, like comparatively. Like it's
inbox us, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
like,
hit the line.
like, don't get me wrong. Like, if for collector's sake, I think the Space Echo would be the one that I would keep.
Okay,
but I don't see myself using it on a board. Like,
is it because it's just too straightforward? Like you can't.
No. It's honestly, I've gotten spoiled with delays, and I've gotten used to the simplicity of the timeline.
That's kind of what okay.
Yeah, and then not only that, like now I have the tonal recall as like a memory. Oh, it's not a memory man style, but it's an analog delay, and having the disaster area smart clock to go into that to tap like to control the BPM. Like for me, I'm just like, okay, what like
you've got the next level up.
It's just like for me it was like, all right, like reverb's a whole different story because the algorithms are all different from each other, but delay is just one of those things of like, okay, cool, I can control the BPM, that's all I want. Dotted eighths and BPM, that's all I want.
Cool.
So there's a situation that you guys were talking about before that I've not looked into. Was it some amp company that said some fucking out of pocket shit?
Oh yeah. Let me preface this because we did a survey about it. And I was talking to a couple of our mutual friends, and at first I was gonna call you up and be like, "Yo, come over on Friday. I'm gonna make this video and respond to it," because I was ready to light their ass
like
up.
Emergency production schedule.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
So
It's
wait,
like,
okay,
it's
who are these people? Because like, who are the people in the players?
So we're not going to include a link to their video because I think it is
fuck them.
Not only xenophobic as fuck, but
we're talking about the Harley Benton thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I was so confused.
Yeah. So it's Casino Guitars.
Casino. Okay.
Yeah, Casino Guitars. They're a store, and they're for lack of better terms, because I mean I know boomer gets thrown around a lot, but they're like the boomers of the guitar world.
So what did they do?
So
They're boycotting a guitar company they've never carried.
yeah, they're boycotting Harley Benton for copying Taylor's T5. For making a $500 copy of a $4,000
Like
guitar.
the cheaper one, $2,000 if you're buying it used.
And they never had their stuff in stock to begin
Yeah.
with.
They appear to be like a higher end company anyway. So I mean,
So they're saying, "I know we don't have your stuff, but guess what? We're
gonna
not going to
boycott."
sell it." It's like,
literally, yeah.
what?
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
Well,
Oh my God.
the thing why they
it's literally just virtue signaling.
But the reason why they said this was, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say you can take the reason.
Oh, well, basically because they felt like Harley Benton had not come up with an original design. But hold on, I want you to put a pin in that thought, and I also want you to imagine all of the guitar companies who have made some version of the Strat.
Or or the Telly, which they're now we're doing this stupid language thing of T style,
S style.
We
you know.
literally reviewed the fucking Silver Sky.
Yeah.
No, but that's the thing. They did a review on this Silver Sky, and they also have a video saying like best T style guitar. Like
So like I don't understand why this is the hill they're gonna die on, but that's their choice.
Yeah, it gets even more stupid when they're like, okay, they're saying like, oh yeah, because they're made overseas under slave labor, and you're just
Hold
like,
on,
wait.
what?
So,
You can't just go throwing out.
But then hold on,
the
let's
term-
also with that same breath remember that Epiphone, PRS, Squier, Ibanez,
and even some
Schecter.
Fender.
Yeah, the modern player
Yeah, the
stuff.
modern players.
Let's see, Godin, Gretsch,
Well, see, this is the main
Jackson.
reason.
Jackson.
The main reason I don't play Xbox is because It's just a copy of a PlayStation.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
Yeah.
It feels like a situation where it's like
I mean,
it's like you're cleaning your room and your mom walks in and is like, clean up your room.
So
And you're like, I was already doing that.
What?
So are you like a P style person or an N style gamer? Like,
Oh my god.
but yeah, no, like
I mean, I'm more of a P guy. You know, more of a P style
like,
guy.
The guitar is like from 1500 BC.
well, but
Like it hasn't changed that
So-
much.
Xander, think of the slave labor.
yeah, the slave labor, like probably
Yeah,
from
Xander,
like,
what do you
But
think
again,
about
let's
the
also
slave
ignore
labor?
all those brands that I've listed earlier who also have factories
or
overseas.
the boutique builders in the U.S. that
I bet there are white
copy
guys in those
that
factories.
copy those guitars that are still selling them at their location.
Yeah.
Because I guess since it's U.S. labor, you know, it doesn't
Oh,
matter.
it's that boomer line where
Oh,
it's
American made.
Yeah.
yeah. Give an
A lot of
American a
Amer-
job. Don't send it
Yeah,
overseas.
it's
Don't
not
be Hillary
slavery. It's,
Clinton.
you know, they ignored the intellectual property part that they mentioned because it was like, hey, it's made in America, so the intellectual property doesn't matter then. But if it's made overseas,
Who's
oh.
that guy? You sent the video to the group chat. That metal guy. I forget his name. I only watched
Oh, I started watching
it.
that.
When he's like roasting Gibson for their shit, and he makes the point. So instead of paying an Asian man minimum wage, you get to pay an American man minimum wage, and it's like, yeah, it's not. It doesn't feel that much better to me.
No, I mean,
like,
Because I know, like, Gibson is a great example because of it was almost 10 years ago now, but there's that web. What is it? Backdoor, not backdoor. Backdoor's where you get hookers.
sex workers.
Sorry. Fucking.
that's going to get us demonetized.
It wasn't in the first
But no,
30 seconds.
it was one of those. It was one of those. It's a website where you can rate your employers. And
Oh, like Glassdoor.
Glassdoor. That's what I was
Glassdoor.
looking
Yeah,
for.
no, I scour Glassdoor. It's
Gibson
fun.
was like it was like the bottom rated company on that page.
Below Comcast?
Yeah, it was like the
Jesus.
lowest on there because
Damn.
they're just you're making like $10 an hour. There's no air conditioning. It's hot. It's Nashville.
Jeez.
You're working
Ugh.
with like sand and sawdust and oh shit.
Whoops.
And it just
Man down.
talking about this was back when they were doing what's his name? Henry Juszkiewicz was running the company.
Who?
Juszkiewicz.
Are you sure that's
the
Oh,
worst
it
last
doesn't
name.
matter.
What's
He's
his
a
last
horrible
name?
person.
Yeah,
so.
he was it was Juszkiewicz. It was
Bless
like,
you.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a white guy. He knows how to pronounce it.
Yeah. I got the
He's a white guy. He knows.
I got the Mediterranean nose. I know what's going on here. But no, he
Touching that.
I'm not either.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. That's fine.
No, that's why I just was like,
It's fine. Armenians were. It's all the same.
oh, we're definitely getting demonetized.
Yeah.
There were a lot of scientific breakthroughs. All right, I'm sorry. It's
Anyways,
My point was.
Back to guitars.
Point was
I'll have to bleep
that
out
they had
some of
yeah
that.
just like technical error. Anyway,
We got a little. Sorry.
Henry was doing bad things. He was not listening to people. They were like. They were running Gibson like a fucking shit show, and it's like, okay, so I'm going to support this American company who treats their workers like shit. That doesn't make me feel any better whatsoever.
well,
Yeah.
You know,
actually, I should ask my friend Turner about because he worked for Gibson's, like on the floor in Nashville,
Yeah.
like assembling guitars.
I would like
should
to
ask-
pick his brain.
Yeah, we should invite him on to tell that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is, and a bigger conversation piece that I wanted to bring to this discussion more so is, do you think there's a problem with the older generation and this mentality of like, oh, if it's not made in America, it's not good?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Like, I think it's kind of split because at least thinking back into my days of like working in sales, there definitely were the guys that's just like, oh, if it's not made in America, I don't want it. But those guys were pretty rare. I would say that was like maybe 2 in 10 customers, and the other 8 were just like, no, this Epiphone, this is great for the money,
Well,
and they were excited about it.
Yeah, those dudes were like how I paid my bills when I worked at guitar stores, because it's like, it's almost like like with Harley Davidson, or like with truck guys or whatever, where it's
yeah.
like, it's like a lifestyle brand, and I kind of fell into it a little bit myself, where it's like, well, you don't want to just get the Les Paul,
but
you want to get the Les Paul hoodie, you want to get the Les Paul beer mug, dude.
But the
you
thing about a lot of those
Paul
companies,
guy.
it's like when like they branch out past like a lot of their base products, that's when a lot of their stuff does come from overseas.
Yeah,
like if you
sure.
want the Les Paul hoodie, it's probably
not made in America.
Yeah, exactly. If you want the Les Paul coasters and
Right,
you know
exactly.
the fucking you know
Dude, when we were in Nashville, that
the
Gibson
key
store,
rings.
those hoodies that were like $110.
Those were
I'm
American made.
not wearing the Kramer hat.
Yes. But you don't know. There was those. I wanted to buy some of those things. I go and look at the price tag. Like
Oh,
that
ew.
is a joke.
Yeah, there was
a
like
fucking
there
joke.
was like a baby hoodie that was $64.
Yeah,
there.
no.
That shit was wild. Dude.
Well, I think that's to kind of jump into that. I think that's personally for me at the music store I work at. There are a lot of those people that come in, and that's kind of what spurred the discussion because a lot of my customers are if it ain't American, I don't want it. Good old boys, and I have to tell myself the area that we're in so it shouldn't represent the majority of people, but it also made me realize those people are out there, and there are those people. Funny enough, some of the people like that come into my store agree with the casino guitar guys because I was talking to them, and personally talking to them as customers, I try to shy away from my position.
You don't get confrontational when it's your job.
Yeah, because I wanted to understand their point of view and see if there was a counter that I could learn from it. Needless to say, there wasn't. It was just like more xenophobia and racism.
And it sounds crass to say, but for the sake of your paycheck, if the motherfucker's convinced himself to spend $4,000, let him spend $4,000.
Oh yeah, hey, you spend $4,000 or whatever.
I had a customer, or not a, I had a coworker one time who wanted to fight me because he had a customer playing a new Telecaster, and the customer asked me what I thought about it. I was like walking by. He's like, "Hey, what do you think of this?" It's like, "Oh, it's pretty cool. There's a used one right there for like $100 less." And my coworker wanted to kick my ass over it. You're fucking with my paycheck, man. I'm like, dude. You probably lost $2.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I mean, I'm glad that I haven't worked in a music store.
Sometimes it's pretty weird.
You know, like
Oh my God, yeah.
to be honest, I'm sure the '90s was great, but
Or the drugs were.
But I'm good. Like, I remember I asked Xander what it was like, and he's like, "Yeah, it's like every day we all go in and cosplay that it's still the '90s."
Yeah, that's pretty accurate, honestly.
Actually, not to get off this, but this actually does a good segue, like, because Tia's worked at a music store, obviously, and I think the perspective is always different with us being guys.
Yeah.
It's a different perspective than what a woman might encounter.
Yeah.
So I was like, we were texting about this, and I was like, yeah, I definitely feel like now's the time to tell your perspective.
Oh yeah,
your
tell some
experience.
war stories to you.
Yeah. Tell your perspective of
Hell
what
yeah.
it's like
I'm
for
gonna get
you
another beer.
working like
What's
in
it
that
like being a
environment.
woman, Tia?
Well, no, like
Sorry,
no, it's just like
chick stuff.
First of all, it's fucking trash. I didn't sign up for this.
But yeah,
No, honestly, like on a serious note, I'm not gonna just sit here and tell a bunch of stories. Like I would say one of my main regrets before deciding to leave Big Box Guitar Store was not keeping like a journal of like just random things that have happened because I did the math and I didn't realize that I'd been there for 7 years.
Jeez.
And there's a lot of things that I just kind of like suppressed in the back of my mind. But one of my coworkers reminded me of this customer I was helping one time, and she was like, "Hey, remember when that guy called you colored?"
Oh my
And I was like, I forgot, but now I remember. So
Kind
that's
of stored that away.
it
yeah.
can only happen at Big Box Guitar Store.
Yep.
Yeah.
Only at Big Box Guitar Store.
But yeah, no, I like I said, I wish I had kept a journal of just like dates and like just these things that have happened, so I could always look back and just be like, I'm not going back. Like if I ever think about going back, I'll read through that journal again and just be like, I'm good.
You get out, you're like, I'm gonna tell my story.
Right.
Well, I actually want to more so. I mean, you don't have to tell your stories on it, but what were some of the ways that people treated you differently than like like a dude. Like even doesn't even have to be like a dude in the same department that you would be in.
Yeah, like one example, I just told some other coworkers like a couple days ago because we were just bitching. This guy walks up to me and he was just like, hey, like I've got this clip-on tuner, it's like a snark or whatever, and he's like, I need a battery for it, this one's dead. So like I walk him over to the little accessories counter, I pick up the little 2032 battery, the little flat battery that those go with. I'm like, this is what you need. He's like, okay, cool, thanks. And then like he takes like 2 steps forward and runs into another coworker. He's like, hey man, I've got this clip-on tuner. I'm just wondering what batteries, come with it.
With the battery in his hand?
Yeah. And then the guy, like, my coworker is just like, he's like, are these the batteries that would work with it? And he's like, yeah. He's like, okay, cool. That's what she said. And my coworker's like mentally, he was just like, listen to her.
Yeah, I'm like, well, why are you asking me?
Like, yeah.
We worked together for a long time, and I there were so many times, like I can't remember a specific one because it happened so often where they'd be like, you would greet them, and then they'd be like, no, I want to talk to the guy there.
Yeah,
who knows what he's talking about.
And
it's like, fuck, back when I had like the really long hair and the beard, I was like the guitar shop guy. Just like, no, dude, you're a better guitar player than me, dude. You know what I mean? Like, fucking,
I'm knowledgeable.
Fucking, you.
I know some stuff.
Anybody who's played for a couple years can help a guy decide if he wants a Strat or a Les Paul or what the fuck ever.
Right.
And fucking just, I don't know. I was always like, it would piss me off. So I don't know how it feels for you. It's like, that's my friend. She's good enough. Fuck you, man.
My whole thing is like, I wish that I had a way to like measure how much money I didn't earn just because I'm a woman.
Oh my god!
Like I wish.
You talk about the wage gap.
Yeah.
You talk about like how that discrimination just folds into like the way they treat you at the store. And
like I remember. I'm sorry, not like I'm just like remembering stories now. Like
Let's
there's
go. Hell yeah!
Like one dude. I remember he walked up to me, obviously I've got the shirt on, I've got my name tag on.
You look like you work there.
Yeah, I recognize this guy, like we've interacted multiple times, and he was just like, he's like a bass player, and we were near the bass wall. There's a ladder right next to the basses, and he was just like, hey, can you like grab a guy to like grab a bass? From up there, and
I wouldn't want a delicate woman like you to get on the ladder and climb up and grab a bass guitar.
I was like, that's how I just stopped and I
can see where he's coming from because he's probably just doesn't want you to have to do that, but also, come on,
this is someone that works at big box music store. I can tell you those ladders are pretty fucking tall, so even like a short person can get them.
They're for everybody.
They're designed for that. Like,
so can you get a guy to get that?
Yeah, like literally, can you get a guy to grab that bass? I looked at him dead in the face. I was like, I can climb a ladder. I'm capable of doing that.
It's really
and
hard.
He didn't say anything after that. Like I can feel his tail going between his legs and just like,
it's like, well, I respect my mom, so like I didn't want.
It's one of those where like he probably was coming from like good intentions in a way,
but it's just like, so baked into the cake that it's
backfired on.
They don't know how fucked it is.
See, like it's funny though, like hearing your stories about it, because for me it's always just been the color thing, and it's just like I literally work on the other side of the store, and
is that the colored side?
Yeah. Actually, no. That's literally what we call, like, for a little bit there was literally only black people that worked that side of the store, so we jokingly called it that. It's like such and such is coming over to Colored Town. They don't belong here.
Coming down to Brownsville.
But the point I was gonna make, like, I can only imagine what it is like for you, because like there would be people. I have 2 different friends. Both were drum associates. Twirling drumsticks. Just twirling drumsticks.
As you do.
As they do. Yeah. Beeline right past them and come and ask me for drum help. And I'm like, why do you think that? Or the same thing like with the bass. Like with the bass,
it's just bass joke.
Yeah.
It's the
they'll beeline past the guitar dudes.
Yeah.
Hey, could you tell me about this bass?
He knows.
And it's like, you know,
right?
So like
Cartman
I can only
says you would know.
Yeah. So it's like I can only imagine like.
I feel like that just has to happen with so many things. Like I feel like a lot of people with like DJ equipment just go straight to the person who looks like they have the most rhythm.
Actually, no.
Yeah.
I would say if I could do a survey, I think the people with DJ equipment are the least stereotypical in that way. They just go for people that look like DJs, not necessarily.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Oh, he's
Electronic
black.
music is
He
very-
got.
So what does a DJ look like?
Like they look like they have Molly on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Go
mean,
for
you're
the
not.
drug dealer looking people.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. I feel
Like
like
you
know
go to
what?
the guy who either looks like the guy or looks like he knows a guy.
Yeah, because it makes me think of like when I go to bars and I'm like, I usually talk to people who look like me. So, who
I do
looks
the,
like
I do the
me in
opposite.
here?
I try to find someone as far away from what I look like and talk to that person.
Well, that's how we became friends.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, y'all are pretty opposite.
Same with me and Tia too. Yeah,
It's like,
Mario
well, I'm
and
tall
Luigi.
and white, and you're small and black. Let's be
little
friends.
black girl. Hey,
I mean,
Instant friendship.
but yeah, I don't
the
know.
number
To
10
me,
thing.
that's yeah. I'm just like flabbergasted at it because you think that
well, there's no logical ground for these guys to stand on.
no, there isn't.
it's
No, there isn't.
It's just
And you
being
know what else
weird
there
and petty.
isn't?
Yeah.
Tubes.
Oh, there are no
Oh,
tubes.
Yeah, we're talking about that
the
now.
tube shortage.
Yeah, let's
See the little transition there.
let's talk about these tube shortages, right? Because people want to travel through tubes. People want to get their tubes tied. But how are we going to do it if there's a tube shortage?
People want to watch TV,
People
but we
wanna
can't
wa-
get the
they-
TV repairman
They
with the
want
tubes
to
to come
turn
out.
on the tube. What are we going to do? All right,
We're gonna go solid state.
I mean, you got solid state, deep dish.
Oh my god, deep web.
Not gonna lie, I could go for a deep dish mesa,
Oh my gosh.
This is what happens when you ask me about
Orange
things I don't
deep
know.
an orange deep dish. But yeah, as far as the tube shortage, do you guys think it's a thing that's actually gonna stick, and we're on the verge of like solid state and digital, or it's just temporary?
I think it's just a bubble.
I think it's a wave.
Yeah.
Like I think it's a little uncomfortable right now, but I think it'll pass.
Well, China's still making tubes. Regardless of what's going on with Russia and Ukraine, China's still there, and they're not. I don't think, not to get too political. I don't think China is gonna, go to war with America or whatever. It's just silly.
I mean,
There is a
who can-
company.
who can call it.
Yeah, that everything is going crazy. So who the fucking knows? But I was trying to find it. I had it earlier, and I'm kind of pissed at myself for not saving it. There is a company in the United States that they make hi-fi like stereo equipment tubes, and it's not much to change to start making guitar amp tubes, and they're actually here in Georgia. So
We'll have our tubes first.
we'll get the
Nice.
tubes first, baby. And it's so.
But don't come to Atlanta because we're full.
oh my god,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
so full.
No,
we're
they're rural.
bursting at the seams.
They're rural, and it's already an established
Don't
company.
come to North Georgia either
it's
because we're
literally-
full as well.
It's like a fucking company that makes donuts finding out that there's a huge demand for bagels all of a sudden. It's like oh, we make hi-fi tubes. Guitar amp tubes are this different? Oh yeah, we can do that. And
Yeah,
so-
12X7.
yeah, it's not that different from the shit that they make for their stereo systems. So, I like the idea of U.S. manufacturing in tubes. Not to contradict my earlier thing and sound like a casino
Are we
guy.
going to pay like U.S. prices?
Yeah,
though?
yeah.
You want to pay for those American-made
They'll be $60 instead of $20,
Yeah.
something like that.
Oh,
I mean, that's probably what they're going to be regardless of cost.
Yeah.
It's like the way things are going now.
Well, I feel like for the people who can afford it, I don't think they're worried. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And
Like, I feel like if you're buying tube amps on the regular, a shortage, you're probably not super worried because you're probably
Xander
good.
looks around, starts sweating.
what am I gonna do? No, that's the point I was about to make. Is I've got all these fucking tube amps. That Model T has had one tube changed in it, and it's made in 1973. All the rest of them are fine. I don't think they've ever had tubes changed, at least since I've had them, except for that one orange reverb that's in the other room or whatever. That has like one shitty 12AX7 in it that I can't find, and it makes it hum. Tubes last a long fucking time. You know what I mean?
With my rock reverb, I bought that used. It's like a 2009 edition.
Yeah.
It has it stamped on the faceplate.
Hell yeah.
I've only had the tubes replaced once in like my 6 years of owning it.
It'll probably last 15 years on those.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, and
Unless you-
I had Orange do it.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not like they just put the
So,
cheap stuff in.
I
You
mean,
know?
there's been a lot of people. It's almost like when people were panic buying the toilet paper for COVID.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen people doing that for their preamp tubes and shit. But it's the same bougie guitar dudes that are like, well, I have to find the best 12AX7 from 1960s or prior to make my 57 Bassman Tweeds sound perfect. And they sit there with the chassis out and they roll through them, and pretend they can hear a difference. It's like that cork sniffer shit is never fucking.
Yeah,
All while this amp goes nowhere. It's
Yeah.
not like you're gigging with this.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
you need
true.
these perfect sounds for it to sit in your basement.
You're gonna do another 10 album EP of your favorite blues classics.
I was gonna say at this point, I'm just glad that like
Dan
my
Collin
matchless
plays the
doesn't.
classics.
I'm just glad I went with an amp that doesn't have like a huge tube section. I think literally,
Yeah.
I think there's probably going to be no more than 4 tubes in my amp. So,
Yeah.
and then I actually have before this happened because a wonderful customer, when I had my deluxe reverb, he was giving me tubes to change out to like mess around with.
Yeah.
So I have all of those tubes that he still gave.
You've got like a box of tubes.
Yeah,
I've
it's
got a
like-
little shoebox full of like 12AX7s.
Yeah, it's like 12AX7s, EL84s, EL34s, 6V6. Like, come and holler at me on Reverb.
I might have to hit you guys up about some fucking.
Dealer.
Yeah.
Yep,
Black
I'm gonna do
market.
it. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think
I
it's a
got
bubble.
this head that needs some
Um,
tubes replaced.
Is that PV?
Yeah, that PV
Bring it
head.
over- bring it over next week. I
Yeah,
wanna
I get. It's this PV head that I got for free from my old drummer who got it at Goodwill for like $19. Yeah, the thing's fucking sick.
We
but
can
yeah,
save it. We can make it better.
I hope we can save it. I got to go by my mom's house and pick it up. You know, hopefully it's still there. I don't
Back
know.
of Goodwill.
I fucking hope not, man.
It's swapped out for a
For
PS4.
$20.
Yeah, because like my fucking my half stack cab's still over there too. And I'm like, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I might just bring that and leave it here. 'Cause,
Bring it to the studio, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's a bubble, and honestly, we're in the
Oh, for
era.
sure.
We're in the era of where digital digital is catching up at an exponential rate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think for most most professional, like huge professionals, aren't using tube amps unless you're John Mayer or somebody like that.
Yeah, if you're
They're
like
all
Joe
using-
Bonamassa. and
yeah,
a
they're
bunch of
using
dudes.
Kempers. So, and if the audience can't tell the difference, they don't care.
That's what
matters.
I've sold
honestly.
this to so many customers too, where it's just like at the end of the day, they all sound like guitars. Like they all sound like guitars. They all sound like amps. Like okay, like a super high gain amp. Okay, if you play like country music, that's probably gonna piss you off. But like, there's usually a clean channel on that amp. You know what I mean? And I don't know. And yeah, you're right. We got some heat because they said we didn't record the Super Crush episode, right? But I think if we had just done the Super Crush without the rock reverb in the room, people would think like, "Oh my god, it sounds amazing!" Because it did. It sounded pretty fucking good.
See, that's
Sounds
why
like an
I cut
amp.
it. That's why I cut it the way that I did.
Yeah, it was a nice touch.
because we had both, and I'm like, well, obviously they sound good together,
Right? Yeah.
And like,
But-
it's.
But the fact is,
Yeah.
it still sounded good. It didn't.
Yeah.
It
Right,
was,
like they sounded different,
Yeah.
but like neither of them, like it didn't. It wasn't
Yeah.
like you changed from one to the other. And you're like, oh, what the fuck,
You,
you know?
you could still go play a rock and roll show on the Crush.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
yeah, it's like I don't think the Tupacalypse. I think we'll still be making music. I think we'll be all right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking Goku and Vegeta still turned Super Saiyan, but hey, Gogeta's fucking sick.
Yeah, I was gonna
Alright.
say, except for Dragon Ball Superhero, which I hope that movie comes out soon. I know how you feel about it, but I'm just stoked to see it. I know one movie I'm not stoked to see, Morbius. And on that note,
Let's talk about Morbius.
What is
'cause
that?
fucking
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
Leto's vampire movie.
Mm.
I'm gonna see it because
see
it
it.
looks like it's gonna be like bad, like Venom.
see that's the thing.
And so I'm here for that because those two Venom movies are like fucking grade A dog ass, but like in the best way.
But that's the thing, though. They were dog ass.
Yeah, but
they
were
had Tom
fun.
Hardy, and Tom
Exactly.
Hardy was enjoyable.
Fucking they
Jared
had Woody
Leto.
Harrelson. It's fucking carnage.
That wig was awful.
Dude, I'm glad
The
they
hair was
changed
so
it, 'cause
bad.
The wig from the Stinger scene at the end.
Wait, awful.
Wait, they
There's two
cast
different-
Woody Harrelson as a man with hair?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
In the year
And
2021.
the wig is
Like, cause it's
It's
two
bad.
completely different wigs. The wig and the
But they're
Stinger
still
scene
bad.
from Venom.
Both are still bad.
yeah.
It's not as okay. The one that they used isn't as bad as the.
It's not
first.
as bad. The first one was god awful.
Like a Ronald
I was like,
McDonald
who let
fucking
that
bird.
happen?
Well, see, and that's the thing. Like, a part of me was like, okay, so there was a comic book nerd in me that I had to shut up. The hood side of me had to shut up because I was trying to rationalize it. because the nerd side of me was just
Inside
like,
you there are two wolves.
yeah, like the hood side of me, like the nerd side of me was like, well, they are going for the Maximum Carnage era look. Which, you know, Carnage has that hair.
Yeah.
And the hood side of me was like, yo, that shit is bad. Like, bro, like
That's like what we learned in the early 2000s is like, just because it looks like the comic book doesn't mean it looks cool with a person in it.
Right.
You know, that's why fucking everybody shit all over the Cowboy Bebop thing. It looks like the cartoon, but
I didn't even start it.
If you were like out and about, like walking downtown, and you saw a man dressed as Sephiroth,
right?
you wouldn't.
Well, that's dumb.
You wouldn't think that was cool.
it depends
I
on the cosplay.
I was gonna say context matters because if I'm on my way to AWA, I'm following that guy.
Yeah.
But if you're just like, if it's like the commute to work and there's just a man in a huge coat with like super long gray hair, it's just kind of funny.
I mean, it depends, because here's the thing: there's some bomb ass cosplayers, and it's like, oh, that's him every day. Then fuck yeah,
yeah.
Like, but if it's like.
Okay.
For overweight nerdy white dude, like.
Well, let's talk like I'm thinking like the fucking Sylvester Stallone Judge Dredd.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's like it's comic accurate, but it looks real
pretty corny.
dumb.
Looks pretty
you
corny.
know?
Yeah, the thing. I don't know. That's just a whole different garbage.
The same
unto
thing
itself.
with the Falcon suit, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
But keep in mind with that, they had to rush it. I'll give them that excuse. Because of COVID, they did.
That was made in Wakanda? Get
No,
out.
I said that shit.
Fuck yeah.
That shit was not made. It was like, bro, them black people did not like you. It was like, what? Are you Captain America? Okay, let's fuck this nigga shit up.
Jeez.
But
Yeah, so Morbius.
I'm not stoked.
Why not?
It's like Venom. Like I said, Venom had Tom Hardy. And like, I don't care what anybody says about Tom Hardy. He himself has never been bad in a movie.
Yeah.
Despite him being in bad movies.
Tom Hardy rules.
Star Trek Nemesis.
Okay, we'll forgive it.
But the thing was, he was a damn good Patrick Stewart. Like,
yeah,
he was like a fucking awesome Patrick Stewart.
So Morbius is a Marvel. Okay, it's that Morbius.
Yeah.
Okay, that is curious to
When
me.
does it come out?
Friday, I think.
This Friday?
I think it comes out this Friday.
Oh, time flies.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when Morbius was on the Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah, and he couldn't suck blood. He had to drain your plasma with his like little mouth,
His little
thingy,
hand thing,
which didn't look creepy at all.
Yeah, it was very weird. I'd rather just have him bite people.
Yeah, but it was the '90s, and then Blade was on there, and it was just like, oh yeah, he had Blade turn into an actual vampire, but he didn't bite anyone. And you're like,
It's kind of like their one thing.
yeah, that's
Biting people?
kind of like that's what they do.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird to censor that. So are they doing all these like Spider-Man adjacent movies to bring all that into the MCU?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Because Tom Hardy was in the stinger scene at the end of No Way Home.
Okay.
Spoilers. Sorry. You should have seen it by now.
I mean, if you've seen Venom 2, then you already know what.
Yeah.
You already know. But I mean, all that to say, I'm not stoked about the movie. I mean, if we're talking about the pop culture reference now, like, I'm not stoked about it. Like, to be fair, I can't believe I'm going to say this, and this is part of the reason, besides lack of opportunity, why I haven't seen the Batman.
I still haven't seen it yet. I mean, by the time this comes out, I'm pretty sure I'd have seen it.
But I'm just not as stoked about comic book properties as I once was. I will say the
You don't want a darker, grittier Batman?
Yeah. Again? Honestly, like, no, like, it's not even that it's Batman. Like, it's just like, I feel like there's an influx of superhero movies that aren't really adding anything interesting to the conversation. And
How so?
like, for instance, they all kind of start, middle, end same way. Either it's an origin story where the hero is like on this journey, or heroine is on this journey, and they're kind of an asshole, and then they find themselves, goes on a hero's journey, then they fight the villain, some skybeam, end of story.
Well, and isn't it?
But that's like, aren't there like literally only like 12 stories that you can tell?
Yeah,
That's like,
no, but I think
okay. Well,
I
I feel like a better question would be, what was the last movie that you think actually had something to say? Then,
I'm not gonna say that had something to say, because it didn't. It was just fan
or
service,
brought
and it was
something new
good.
to the table, I guess.
No Way Home.
Yeah.
Like,
it was entertaining.
Yeah, like
Like, even for people who didn't, like, religiously follow, like, the MCU, enjoyed it. Like, my mom has no idea what's going on in half of these movies. And even she walked out of the theater and was just
No
like...
Way Home was
She was like, yeah, that was
fucking
really
home
good.
run, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Like the thing about No Way Home that I enjoyed, it was just like a lot of it was fan service done right, and it wasn't like this whole, oh, we're going to take over the world, Skybeam. It was just like, hey, here's these dudes from these other movies. We're making a movie about it, which is funny because like right when the Spider-Man comic came out a few years ago, that was my like I had a pit like I screenshot it and I posted it on Insta because I was like, I fucking called it and I said that they should do this and they did it, and now it's one of the most successful comic book movies ever.
I mean, yeah, it is the most Spider-Man-y Spider-Man movie, and I think that's why I love it. But like, even with it being that, it's still like a Tom Holland Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Like you never like forget that it's his movie, even though Andrew Garfield absolutely steals the show.
I think both of them do,
great.
but that's a different story.
I mean, Tobey Maguire's just there being everybody's dad.
No,
Pretty
that's his
much,
thing.
yeah.
But that's the thing.
doing?
Like he was, I put it like this.
TMG.
He didn't have anything to prove. He was just like the youth pat. Like
you gonna
youth
go
pass,
just like a youth
at that
pastor?
point, he was just like the senior figure, and like
Yeah.
I don't think anybody kind of expected anything more out of him.
Yeah.
We just didn't want emo Peter.
Yeah.
I mean, he's too old for that. Like,
Exactly.
I
Youth
mean,
pastor.
I'm gonna agree with Nelson. Like, Andrew did kind of like, I don't want to say stole the light from Tom Holland, but like,
Oh no, that I would agree.
Andrew Garfield is just naturally charismatic.
I
Like,
was-
he
Shit
just
with
had
MJ when he
has-
fucking caught
Oh
her?
my god,
I-
people in the theaters were like, oh.
I will say this. In that movie, he was the best Spider-Man in that movie. But the reason why I say that is because they did what they should have done with him in the other two Spider-Man movies, is not have him be a dick.
Yeah.
And have him embrace more of the like Peter Parker side of it. So that's why I like that. True.
So, I mean, I've said this before. I'll say it again. Tobey Maguire did a really good Peter Parker. I won't say a great Spider-Man.
Oh, no, he didn't
Andrew
do it.
Garfield did an awful Peter Parker because he's just way too cool, but a wonderful Spider-Man
Yeah.
because
You're
he's
doing
quick.
skateboard tricks and shit.
Yeah, right. No,
Like-
he's way too, like, that kid is not getting bullied. Okay,
Well, that
he's
was
just not.
They
That
had
was the thing, it was just
little
like-
basketball moment.
Wait,
Right.
well, not even that, but it was like the kid bullying him was like uglier than him, and
Like,
it was like
no, it's like that just wasn't believable. But with Tom Holland, he's like that really good balance of both, where
Yeah.
he is a good awkward Spider-Man.
He's also the shortest Spider-Man.
yeah.
Hey,
But
man,
he's also
we
a
stand-
teenager.
we
He's
stand up-
also young.
No,
Stand
we
the short
stand up
kings.
for our short kings.
That's right.
Yes. Now he's going to
Yeah.
college now.
Yeah.
So-
But I mean, that's I
Still
don't
young
know.
adult, but yeah, no. Like, Tom Holland, great balance of the two, but Andrew's just naturally more charismatic.
Yeah.
And that's not to Tom Holland's fault. It's Andrew Garfield.
Well, I think
I'm sorry.
I think also each of those Spider-Men were written differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
it's-
completely different direction,
and,
completely different time period. Yeah.
And I think the writing on this movie played to the strengths of each of those Spider-Men.
Yeah.
In the sense that, okay, we didn't have the things that we liked about Tobey Maguire were shined, but as an older version.
Mm-hmm.
The things we liked about Andrew Garfield, like that were hints of, were like, pull, and like that movie did make you want this dude to get a Spider-Man 3, and like Sony would
yes
be
and no.
well, play this. Sony would be dumb with the amount of goodwill they gain from the fans just for like Andrew Garfield. It could be absolute dog shit, but it will print them money if he gets a Spider-Man 3.
I mean, but like,
But also, like, how many people would that confuse at this point?
yeah, like it's
I
one of
don't-
those things where it's
I mean,
like,
I wouldn't say
yeah,
it would confuse. Probably this, if you're a fan of Spider-Man, I don't think it would confuse any
no,
more
no.
than it did.
I
Probably this,
think
I don't
if
think it would
what if-
confuse any more than it
I
did
think-
people watching No Way Home.
I think it would make more sense to like if they did bring him back for something, it'd be like more of a Spider-Verse thing.
Yeah, like how they
Like,
literally
well-
went through.
If they added him to the animated,
Well, no, originally,
universe,
I don't
so
know if
that
you-
it's less confusing rather
Originally-
than just going with a Spider-Man 3. You know?
Well, originally, Tobey Maguire was supposed to be Spider-Man in Into the Spider-Verse, and then the write up or one of the rumors with the Sony leak, because of the fallout with Andrew Garfield at the time,
Yeah.
it was basically what they were going to do was have both of them as both of the two Peter Parkers, the one that dies, and loosely connect them. But due to the fallout with Andrew Garfield and Toby
Damn.
whatever,
Multiverse shit gets so fucking confusing for me.
Yeah.
I mean, but Spider
I enjoy
Verse.
it.
Okay, let me put it like this: No Way Home is the most Spider-Man movie. Spider Verse is the best Spider.
Oh no, I agree by far.
Oh yeah.
But
still.
but like the point that I was making originally is like, how many times like are we gonna see? Like, I already know the basics of this Batman movie without seeing it.
And so I was gonna say, wasn't that the problem with the Eternals? Was that it was just
I
like
still didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it
started
either.
and I got so bored I turned it
I
off.
saw it
that's
was
my thing
2.5 hours long. and it
everyone
was
I
like,
know,
fuck
everyone
no.
I know who loves the Marvel series and all this stuff, they don't give a fuck about these characters, and it's boring to them. Like I've read so many takes.
Because the biggest thing has already happened.
Yeah,
so you can't pull in these god
and
figures.
it's not
you know?
Captain America, it's not Thor, it's not the characters you grew up with. It's
The
fucking
guys who
whoever this
just
guy is.
beat the fucking world ender dude.
Yeah.
Thanos, like fucking. Why
So-
would I care about these god
Like-
figures who work
like
here?
like the
Fuck
reason
off.
the reason the new MCU shit even works, I think, is because they were characters that we all knew before, kind of. Like I knew who Iron Man was before Iron Man.
Okay,
came.
yeah,
That
I have
and-
no idea who any of those people
Well,
are.
I don't know any of the
I don't
fucking
know that,
Eternals.
man.
I do, but the thing more so about that movie in particular that I was more excited about was the Celestials, and only because that kind of led to Galactus, and
Okay.
the nerd in me wanted
Yeah.
to see that, but I don't know if that's there.
Yeah, and that's kind
See,
of.
that's why I almost watched it, and then, like I said, I saw it was 2.5 hours long, and was like, nah.
But again,
What?
like my point is that's getting into like the deep Marvel lore. You know,
Yeah, I mean, but
everyone
that's-
knows who like Magneto is, but Galactus is like.
You gotta
You
know
kind of
Galactus.
gotta be on the regiment to get to
Well,
Galactus.
well, that's the thing too, and that's kind of why I'm scared and excited to see their approach to the X-Men, because I think
the X-Men, I'll never forgive them.
well, that's the thing, because it's, Disney being Disney.
Yeah.
There's certain social commentary that they can't, or I'm not going to say they can't, they shy away
They probably
from.
won't touch as hard.
And
You know, the whole "don't say gay" thing.
yeah, yeah. And the thing
Shout out to
is, it's just
DeSantis.
like,
Fuck you. All right.
I mean, but the thing about the X-Men is it's social commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
so
how it started. It was
Yeah.
literally
about
Martin Luther
segregation.
King and Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Literally Professor
Yeah,
X and
that's
Magneto.
Yeah.
really what it is.
Like that's how it started.
And so, I mean, to remove that element from it, it's just like, I mean, you saw what happened. You see what happens when you remove any kind of social commentary from it. You end up with Bryan Singer's X-Men, and like, for better or worse, while we
Wait,
did,
whoa, hold on.
saying,
Which one?
I'm not. I'm
Which
saying.
one?
I'm saying as a whole. I'm saying we did get good things out of it, and while X-Men 2 was entertaining, how many times did the Phoenix story flop, or how many times did they miss the
Every
cure?
time.
No. That's my point.
It's never got
And
it.
how many times did they try to do the cure arc and miss the point that it's an allegory for AIDS?
True.
Like, those things. It's just like,
Well, because they get in their own way. You
Oh,
know?
I know, and that's it. But my point is like, if you remove the social commentary, because it's so intrinsic to the X-Men nature, like, of bigotry and racism, that if you remove that,
Yeah.
they're just
See,
superheroes.
There's no substance.
As a kid, I thought X3: The Last Stand was good. And
yeah.
It's not, because the Dark Phoenix thing is the B plot.
Damn.
You know, which is like, what?
It's interesting.
And then they try to do it again, and it sucked even worse.
Did
I
Bryan
didn't
Singer do
even-
all those old X-Men movies?
Yeah, he
He
did,
did
the
1 and
first
2.
three. I thought he didn't do the third
Oh,
one.
No, he
dude,
didn't
that
do-
makes me very upset.
Because the dude that was going to do, I forgot who it was. They're both shitbags, but the dude that was going to do, Bryan Singer was going to do X-Men 3,
Yeah.
and the dude that did X-Men 3 was going to do Superman.
Dude.
Superman Returns, and then whatever happened,
Zack
and then
Snyder?
no, it was Superman Returns, not like
Oh, yeah.
like,
The one. Okay.
that one that we forget with
What's
boat
his-
guy Lex Luthor,
Yeah.
Netflix next. Lex
Yeah.
Luthor.
Wait, so.
That's upsetting. I
I
hate
mean,
Bryan
well,
Singer.
it's disappointing because First Class was good.
No, First Class was all, but it was a period piece that was set in that time, and it was allegories to. While it was a bunch of white people and they killed off Darwin, which I will never forget, the one
Never!
dude's power is he cannot die. He evolves.
He's dead. It's
Yeah, it's like, oh, and he's black. Yeah, black dude that can't die. Not on my watch.
That's a
Nope.
challenge.
Yeah.
Not to
But-
Kevin Bacon.
And then Zoe Kravitz is in that movie, and it's
Yeah.
just like oh, they killed her off screen, so it's just like, oh man.
See, that was my problem with X3. All the fucking just poof deaths and off screen. They just fucking turned Professor Xavier to a pink mist.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, but
Scott died off screen, and they found his floating sunglasses.
Oh yeah, he just went to
I
another
hate that
universe to
movie
be
now, to be
Lois Lane's
honest.
boyfriend.
Ah.
But I guess the point that I was making to answer your question, since we got off that,
Yeah.
I'm just not as excited as I once was after close to 20 years now of Marvel's superhero movies and and just superhero movies now. Like the
Well, I mean, did you ever see New Mutants?
no,
Me neither.
exactly.
Did anybody?
Exactly. Nobody. I mean, apparently enough people saw it so fast that it went right to Hulu like a week after it was in
Yeah,
theaters.
it was on. Well, no, it was on theaters, and then I think that like early pandemic.
Yeah, then it just went
And-
right to Hulu.
Yeah, I never got around to it.
So, well, with that nerd banter out of the way, I think we can just conclude this.
Yeah.
We've got about 51
Xander's looking at
minutes
fucking
here.
Kirby hats on
Fucking
Amazon.
Kirby baseball cap? Come on, dude. You got Kirby on your head?
And with that, Kirby
I
on
think
your
we
head.
can call it there.
I have one more. I have one more thing. I have one more thing that we need to discuss as a group, as a channel. This is very important. All right. I showed Nelson while you guys were filming earlier.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Well,
So
the first big purchase we're gonna make,
King Ice,
as a
if
flex.
any of our
here.
fans out there want to support the show, go to kingice.com. Go to the Sonic the Hedgehog collection.
Yeah.
We want some fucking bling.
Ah,
I want Knuckles.
That's
no, I
good.
want
I want
Tails.
Shadow.
No, wait. I feel
Shadow
like
sold out.
Shadow
bet.
is sold out.
I
Shadow
bet.
sold out.
I bet it is.
Everyone
Of course
bought
he is.
Shadow. So
Yeah.
Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles, we'd all like
Well,
one.
before we go,
Yeah.
if there isn't a Shadow Stinger at the end of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I'm going to be pissed.
There is,
there
like a post credits.
better be.
Yeah.
Although the
The-
head ones are coming out soon, so
Yeah,
you can
I
still
still
get
want
Shadow.
Shadow.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can get the Shadow head, just the skull.
I mean, that is part of why I'm gonna see the second
I
Sonic
mean,
movie.
Idris Elba. It can be dog shit, but Idris Elba as Knuckles is like,
Yeah.
That,
Perfect.
Right.
that first one was good. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
no, I love the first one.
I
Yeah.
finally saw it, and you're right. It is just Bugs Bunny.
It's a
Sonic.
Bugs Bunny cartoon with Jim Carrey in it, and it's
Yeah.
awesome. And if they bring half of that energy to the next one with Knuckles in it, and with
Yeah.
Idris Elba, oh my god,
Yeah.
dude, it's
Yeah.
gonna be so fucking cool.
I just hope
I mean, I was bummed when he said this version of Knuckles isn't gonna be sexy.
Yeah. but then.
Yeah.
But then there's that picture of Knuckles holding Sonic
That's
up by
what
the
I'm
throat,
saying.
and it's
yeah,
like,
it's like really? Come on,
Seems
shut
pretty
up.
sexy.
And you're making furry controllers.
oh god.
You're lying to me.
and with that said, this has been the Working Class Podcast.
Thanks for stopping me right there. I had to
Yeah.
It's going off the rails. Yeah, Jason, you want to close this out?
Yeah, with that said, this has been Working Class Podcast. Like, subscribe, comment, give us conversation pieces to discuss. Please. Yes, Patreon, Instagram,
Tell your friends.
tell your friends,
Tell your mom.
Working Class Music
Ah.
and Working Class Podcast. Buy a shirt and let us know how much Morbius sucked ass. Because we probably won't see it.
I'm gonna see it.
I
Put-
probably won't.
Put spoilers to the Batman in the comments.
Oh,
No,
please
no.
don't. No, I haven't seen
No,
it.
don't do that.
Jesus.
Inbox Tio with spoilers.
Oh my
If
god.
you put a spoiler to the Batman in the comment, you will
It's her
never win any
Instagram
giveaway
handle.
from us.
You'll be
You will be
blacklisted.
blacklisted from any giveaway.
All right.
I'm gonna try and get that over at some point. Spoilers in the comments, guys. All right, we'll see you next week.
Love you guys.